Hello, hello. On to number 50. This one. A puzzle called Painting the Tides. And the way I'm sort of visualizing it, in terms of the rules, is it's sort of like Skyscraper, and then there's a single area where water reaches a certain height that will cover a whole bunch of the skyscrapers in my head, and then be blocked by the others that are too tall for how tall the water is. Is sort of where I'm going with that, and yeah, all connected. Flooded less than n, where n is the water level, sort of. And everything that's close to it has got to be greater, but there can be sort of lower, or it's like regions of land rather than heights of land rather than skyscrapers. There can be lower land elsewhere, but that's not getting flooded. So circles are flooded and squares are not. Let's go blue and green. That would sort of make sense. And they're both a looking thing of looking across like that. Not all necessarily given. Cool. So this guy here be 3, 4, or 5. And this one could be 3, except yes, go scan, because then that's 4 like that. So that can be 3, 4, 5, or 6, and then that can get very big. These are going to have to be... So this... But yeah, I was going to say this has to be quite big, which it does. But it also can't be one surrounded by things, because then one of them, that would therefore be flooded. Yeah, even if it was 2, then one of those will be bigger than that, and that will be flooded. 3 would be okay. Yeah. Interesting. And it's all orthogonally connected as well, isn't it? Gotta be careful of. So these are all I say relatively big. But doesn't matter too much straight away anyway. Oh, and of course it's... I was just trying to think about n. How big n is. And digits in flooded cells must be less than n. I was trying to work out how big n is going to be. But this doesn't even have to be touching any land. So I was wondering if n was caught by that. But pretty much all the grid possibly could be entirely flooded, which is interesting. Just looking across at this, and if that looks like that does anything. 4 would put 3 would put 5. 4, 3, 5, 6. And that gets quite big. Seems okay. So if that... Still haven't quite got my head around this puzzle. That's 3. It implies that they're bigger than 3. Just think about 1s and 2s in this grid. In this box even. Which... They're always going to be flooded 1s and 2s, aren't they? And so if that was 3, that could be 1. that would be flooded. Suppose all these are at least a 1. It's not going to do much yet. Why have I said that if this was 9, then everything would be covered? And if that's 8, no, because that, yeah, if any of these cells were 8, then everything touching them would have to be 9s. So, for example, that would be a 9, so that would be flooded, and that would be flooded. So that's definitely not 8. And isn't that the same? So if the water level was up to 8, this would be 9, this would be flooded, and that would be flooded. Yeah. So it's N is at least a 4, at most an 8. Most a 7. Sorry, most a 7. I could probably get rid of 7 as well. So if that's 7, you get a bunch of 8 9s here. Some flooded stuff up and down there. I feel like it shouldn't work, but I can't see why it wouldn't at the moment. And still currently feel like I'm missing something sort of more general about the puzzle and how the digits seem to work. If that's 4, right? Then that's not going to be very happy, because that's saying that would be a 3, but then that would be bigger. And similarly, if that was 5, then at least one of these would be at least 5, because this is all part of either the land edge or the water. So that's not a 5. And then this being at least 6 now, 1, 2, 3, 4, makes both of those cells green. So these are the sort of cells here that don't necessarily touch any water. Which will be very interesting, won't they? Yeah. Cool. That's got some stuff that isn't only the circles and whatnot recorded. And so if that's 4 4 or 5 for the exact same reason, it would get flooded if it wasn't if it was 4 or 5, because there would be water with a higher digit. 3, 4, 5. So if that's 3, it's going to be touching water, and water goes above 3, so that can't be 3. And similarly, if it's 4, it'll be touching water. Water goes above 4, so that's gone up. But as soon as it's 5, it could be entirely protected, and water could go above 5 potentially. In fact, water would then go up to 6. So if that's 5, then water goes up to at least 6. And those would have to be relatively big. So, no, water could all still be 5 or less, couldn't it? Yeah, relatively easily. 3 with 4, 5. And up here, 3, 3, 4, 5. Should all be fine. If this is 5, sort of hoping that would have to be 6 and 7, but doesn't necessarily need to be it. And that being 5 probably doesn't actually do anything. Ones and twos are all flooded in here. And if 5, then there's a 5 that's definitely flooded in here. And a 1 or a 2. There's a 9 in here that's land. This being 5 or 6 means that's green at least. And if any of these are blue, let's say that one was blue, that would have to be green and then a 5 there. Wait, hang on. If that's blue, that's a green 5, but then water goes above 5, so that doesn't work. And that's the same here or there, isn't it? If that's blue, that's a 5, but water goes above 5. Yes. Yeah. So we got a whole bunch of green there. So this is entirely protected land. So we don't really care about it at that point. Interesting. Nice. Good. Unfortunately, I think at that point that kind of stops being so useful. So, but now we can take off the highest digit of all of these. At least one of these is blue. It's not saying much. That's got to stop this. And we know the water goes up to at least 5, so that's got to be at least. And if that was a... Oh, we got 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. Cool. Sorry. Yeah, good. Right. Well, water's going up to at least 5. And if water was going up to 7, that would have to be in 8 and 9. It just feels like water can't get to 7. But maybe it can. Not sure why I took a 7 out of that cell. I think it was because I thought that was sort of stopped by this. It's not necessarily the case at all, is it? That can be 7. Oh, that goes back quite a bit, doesn't it? 7 with 8, 9 and whatnot. I mean, that probably doesn't work, and I'm trying to work out if it's worth having a look at why that can't be a 7. But... So 7... I mean, all this was water. And anything the water was touching would have to be an 8 or a 9. Surely there's not enough 8 and 9s to sort of dam up all the water. Doesn't feel like there should be. Come on. What am I not seeing? I mean, this has to be water's up to at least 5. That's definitely 6 or 7, 8 or 9. But if 6, so that's still true that can't be 6, because then 3, 4, 5, and that breaks there, and similarly on this side. But this could be 6 with a 3, 4, 5 triple. 6. Don't forget the water has to escape out of here, but it could sneak its way down there. I was wondering if it had to sort of come round like that. If that was land, then the water would have to loop around in order to connect. What would that mean? That would make this cell quite small. If the water loops around to connect, And row 2, column 2 is at most a 6. But at least a 6. So it would have to be a 6. And then that breaks. So if this is land, then the water comes around like that. So this has got to be big enough to not flood. But we know the water goes up to at least 5, so that would be a 6 with land like this. These cells would be land. But the problem is, with that being 6, that becomes 3, 4, 5. And then that doesn't it doesn't have a fill. So that's, like I do it, that's water, but... And the water's got to connect, so one of those has to be water. Yeah, I'm definitely still not... I'm hoping by the end of it I'll have my head around exactly how the puzzle works, but at the moment, definitely not quite. 6, 3, 4, 5. And that's at most a 7. Are any other of these circles that are actually doing anything? Not particularly. 5, then the land comes right that. Because the interesting thing is land that touches water, isn't it? That's the only place where values actually matter, sort of thing. That's 3 with water on either side. With land on either side and water like that. 3, 4. East to 5. You get more 6, 7, 8, 9s. Wow, if this is 4. Or 5, 3, so water looks like that. And comes round like this. All seems okay, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Water would have to reach exactly. So water would have to reach exactly 6 in that particular instance. This cell being 4, 5, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. And everything it touches would have to be 7, 8, 9 or more. Or more. I don't think there's quite any more to give. And my brain does not want to engage. 5, 5, 3, 4. So if that's 7, surely I can disprove this being 7. If that's 7, everywhere it's cut off needs to be an 8 or a 9. So for example, that can't be 3. I'll need too many 8s and 9s in this box. That's 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All that's water. Just not much land that touches water near the start, is there? That's what I'm not seeing or not getting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's green. That helps. This is green. Probably ought to do that. I was going to say that this had to grow. That's definitely not true. Does this guy have to touch water? Not really. There's so much of it that doesn't seem to have to be affected by water at all. And if that's water, that's a 6. And all that's land. This would be a 3, 4, 5 triple. Just seems likely, I'd say. 4 putting water around it. Yeah, 4 putting water around it doesn't work, of course, because that's saying because water would go up to it, gold does go up to at least 5. So that's the same there and there. This guy's limited. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. And if that was 2, water would be all around it. This is what I need to think about, I think. If that's 2, water's all around it, but it will be flooded. If that's 3, it's touching at least 1 water and it will be flooded. If that's 4, it'll be touching at least 1 water and it'll be flooded. So that's quite big. And now we have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pent. That looks like a pent, doesn't it? Cool. Right. Okay. Getting more into grips with it again. So this has got to be green for that to work. For that to be at least a 5. Now this is at least a 6. Like it could still happen that water flows around here. I'll have to see. One of these is a 3. Some of this has a bunch of land, and one of these is a 4. If that helps at all. This being 8 or 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's green. This has got to be at least a 6 now. Hold the water in, that goes up to at least 5. And yeah, so if it did go up to only 5, then these are a 3, 4, 5 triple. The 1 or 2 there. So that couldn't be 5. That would be 5. You get and that's all blue. Oh, that's so weird. And the other 1, 2 goes somewhere in there. If this is 7, then that is 7. Then that couldn't be water. So this is going to be cut off at some point with an 8 or a 9. 7 putting water all like this. That would be 8 or 9 there. Because the whole point is you've got to then be pinned in by 8s and 9s only. And I feel like I should be able to make that break. That would be an 8-9 pair, so that would have to be an 8-9. Then all this would be water. 8-9 here, 7. Out to at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. 9 pair pinned in there. The pin in the water here, but seems like you could. That would have to be an 8-9 there. Implying that all this. Yeah, okay. So if the water goes up to 7, then I think that I can break this box relatively easily. That would have to be 8 or 9. And that would have to be, if that was water, then one of these would be flooded. So that would be the other 8 or 9. But then the trouble is the water then gets around there and floods. And I think I should have just been able to see that earlier. Probably. But we're here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All green. That's green. That's 7, not 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Seeing at most one more thing. If that was water, that's certainly flooded. That's, yeah, that's dribbly 1, 2 pairs. So that's not water. That's got to be protected. And we're saying that, yeah, the water can't come above 7. That's the whole point. I will hopefully understand it at some point. Then this box was not happy if it went up to 7. If it goes up to 6, then I think we're less of a problem. This would be an 8-9 pair. That would be a 7. So we'd flood all the way up there. But then that just means that that has to be another 8-9. And that seems okay. This becomes flooded. 7, 8, 9, triple holding it in. Because if you don't go to 6, then, for example, this has to be a 3, 4, 5 with... Where's that 1 and 2, by the way? That's down here, so that's definitely flooded. Ah, so that's not 3. Cool. So we do go to 6. Right. We're going all the way up to 6. That is excellent. That is what I like to hear. So, 7, 8, 9, triple. This is all flooded. That's got to be 7, 8, 9. Anywhere else that can't be 7, 8s or 9s that are flooded. This cell is not a 4. This cell is not a 4. This is a 4. These are big. Feels like this will start. What am I looking for? Not falling apart. Break. Yeah. I'm getting into the puzzle. That's what I'm trying to say. That can't be flooded, because then this would be. That can't be flooded, because then this would be. Yes, we're going all the way up to 6. So that's a 7, 8, 9. This is a 3. This is a 4, apparently. This is a 5. This is 6. It's about to do yin yang, which is what I was looking at before. That's a 3. That's land. That's 7, 8, or 9. 1, 2, 5. All flooded. Flooding's got to come out. And it's, yeah, it's a strict stop at 6, isn't it? So anything flooded is less than 6. Anything not needs to be holding it in. That's 4, then this is all separate. Which wouldn't be allowed. This was 4, then all that would be flooded. That would be flooded like this. Seems okay. One of these is a 7, 8, or 9 in order to stop the water coming this way. So that gives you a virtual 7, 8, 9 triple, meaning that's not 7, 8, or 9, and that is flooded. I think. Yeah, that seemed true. Pretty sure that was true. This being at least 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7. This guy could still just be along here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Lovely. I was hoping that was the case. 8. 1, 2, 3. That could be a 7 or a 9. Both of those work. Still be 9, couldn't that? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Cool. Lovely job. Right. Tempted to do that for all of these as well. It's not 2, 4, 4, 5. Might have done something. Apparently not though. 5s are there. 4, 5 and not 6. 2, 3, but they're all land. That seems good. It's quite happy. It's being 5 or 6 depends on if that's green, doesn't it? Alrighty, 7, 8, 9 triple. So that means all of these cells are less than 6. So that one had to be anyway. But that means that they can't touch water. So none of those are water. That makes sense. And this guy's now grown a fair bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least. Oh, which we knew he had to be because he's stopping the water flowing anyway. So if that was 9, that would imply all of this was shaded, but that breaks to that cell. So that's 7 or 8. If it's 8, then that's a 9 and that's land. But if it's 7, then that is water. So this is always water is what I'm getting at. 3, 6, but 7, 8, 9, not 8. Yeah, we've got at least 5 so far. If that was a 5, the water would go like that. Take that cell as well. Seems okay. Neither of those are 6s, because this one's always bigger. Oh, no, not true. Of course, there's a kind of split up and down there. Thinking that one was picking up everything this guy was, but of course it's not. If 5, then the water does that, but if 4... Oh, isn't that... If 5, the water does this. But if 4... then that's 7, 8, 9, and the water takes that cell for sure. And again, another virtual 7, 8, 9 triple. And that could still be 5 or 6. Is there another 7, 8, 9 triple to be had? I know that I know that at least one of these is land. Because those can't both be 7, 8, or 9. Yeah, not sure. This guy is given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a 9 now, isn't it? Which puts 9s up here. That's been 8 for ages. So if that's 6, that's water. And that's all the water in that row. So don't forget that that sort of thing is limited. Seven, 6. If that's 6, water's like that, but it's stopped, and that's always water. If this was land, then this guy just gets trapped. So that's definitely water. Water. And then one of these is land. Exactly. That's small. It's the 7, 8, 9 triple there. That's also small. So that's certainly not seeing 2. That's not seeing 3 things. That's also apparently not seeing 3 things. 5, 6 pair. At least one of these is... Oh, that's got to be 6 now, look, because then he's definitely getting Some either like that or like that, isn't it? That he sees. Which gives you a bunch of stuff. That's nice. That's 789 and land. Let's try and find my land button. There we go. 4s are there. 5s are here. 1, 2, 2, 5. That was a flurry. It was slow down. So 6. 6 will have to touch a 7, 8, 9. 6 looks up here. Oh, this being 4. We knew what that looked like in the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7, 8, 9. That's got to be blue. This can be land and can be blue. There's an 8, 9 there or there, but 7, 8, 9 triple there. So that's not 7, 8, 9. So that is land. Last one, the 7, 8, 9 here. That's all flooded. So the 7, 8, 9 is used up. Flooding's got to continue through. Seeing at least 4 things now. Can't see 6. It's not a 7. 9s are here. Lots of triples. Hoping at some point they'll sort themselves out, but I'm sure they will. 9 up here, 7, 9. Yeah, that was all given, wasn't it? This guy's not a 2 anymore for sure. He's got to be a 4. He can't be a 6. That's land. 7, 8, 9 triple. Quite a lot of those in this puzzle, isn't there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 and 5, 3, 4, 6. 2, 5. Yeah. Cool. This was 4, right? Take both of those and then one of these. So that is a 6. 1, 2 pair, 4, 5, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 6. There's a 4. 1, 2, 3. That's not 3 anymore. Good. Yeah, there's a 8 somewhere here. Do we know where that could be? No, not particularly. 1, 2 pair though, so this cell, that's big, which means this is small, and land. And sorry, C, that's land. So now this is still 3 or 4. This is a 3, that's a 4. Yes, of course it couldn't be 4. Which gives you a 2. 3s are there. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Jumping around the grid. 2, 1, 1, 3. Looks like a 6. Probably 2 and 3. 2s, 3s. Nice. That was good. 7, 8, 9s there. Naked single at the end. That's certainly going to be flooded. And that being 5, that looks good. That looks satisfied. 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. This is small. That looks like a 2. There's 3s. There are 3s. 3s could go in either spot, couldn't they? No, there's a 7, 8, 9. There's a 3. Yeah. Just trying to find where the triple was. Did eventually see it. 3, 4, 4, 6. And then it'll be this thing, won't it? That is like that. which again was there a while ago, I think. Sorry. 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, and 7, and 1 and 2. At the water's edge, nothing more was said. The boy looked at the creature. Not a single tear was shed. The creature laid his hand upon the boy's head, gave him a wink of his eye. And then he disappeared off into the tides, which have grown across our grid rather lovely. I think I was being quite slow through a lot of that puzzle, so apologies for that. Just really couldn't get my head around how things had to be blocked off. It was interesting that it did go all the way up to 6. Felt like it could only get to 5, but it obviously had to travel a long way. Yeah. No, very nice. Yeah. Did enjoy the puzzle, although I did struggle with it. I do like the theme of that. But anyway, thank you very much for the puzzle. I hope you enjoyed watching. Chat to you all sometime later. Bye.